Steve here. It's Friday, March 20th, 2026. The S&P is sitting right around 6,740. Today, we're kicking off a two-part explainer on something that, well, it sounds like science fiction, but believe me, the conversations are happening. We're talking about a fundamental change to the nature of money itself. So, let's get into it.
$34 trillion. Just let that number sink in. That isn't just a number, it's a mountain of debt that our nation is trying to operate on. A mountain so massive that the interest payments alone are bleeding our national budget dry. You see, this is no longer a political issue. This is a math problem. And the old solutions, they just don't work anymore.
You hear this said all the time, don't you? And it's the hard truth. The numbers are just too big. So if the traditional tools are broken, what's the alternative? Well, you have to think differently. You have to change the money itself. You build a new system from the ground up. You build a U.S. Treasury stablecoin.
Now, when I say that, I need you to get the image of old paper greenbacks out of your head. This isn't just about printing something new. We're talking about a complete upgrade to the country's financial operating system. It's like moving from a rotary phone to a smartphone. So what is it really? At its heart, it's what they call a smart contract. Think about that. Imagine a dollar that's programmable. A dollar that doesn't just sit there, it knows its job. It knows where it's supposed to go, what it's supposed to do, and it remembers everywhere it's been. All of this lives on one single, unified ledger that's controlled directly by the Treasury. This isn't just new money, it's intelligent money.
And here's where you really see the difference. Look at this comparison. On one side, you've got the legacy system we're all stuck with. It's slow, it needs all these middlemen, it only works during banking hours, and it is drowning in paperwork. On the other side, a Treasury stablecoin. It's instant, it's direct, it works 24/7, 365 days a year. It bypasses all the old, slow Goliaths of the private banking world. It's the definition of efficiency.
The mechanics are almost beautiful in their simplicity. The government needs to make a payment, a social security check, a military contract, you name it. They don't cut a check. They don't wire it through 5 different banks. They just issue the payment, and the ledger is updated instantly. It's a direct pipeline from the Treasury to the economy. No friction, no delay.
Okay, so you have this incredibly fast, efficient system. But here's the crucial point. For this new dollar to be trusted, for it to have real value around the globe, it needs to be built on a solid foundation. It needs real collateral. You know, our current dollar, it's backed by a promise, nothing more than the full faith and credit of the United States.
But this new system, it could be backed by something much more tangible. Instead of a promise, you back the programmable dollar with the actual physical wealth of the nation. We're talking about a monumental shift from a system based on faith to one based on hard assets.
And what kind of assets are we talking about? We're talking about the immense, almost incalculable value of all federal land, the strategic oil reserves, the trillions in gold sitting in vaults like Fort Knox, even seized financial assets. You take all that physical wealth, you tokenize it, and you use it to back this new currency. You're not just creating a new dollar, you're creating a supercurrency with real intrinsic value.
You have to understand, this is so much bigger than just launching a new digital coin. What this really is a fundamental recapitalization of the United States itself. You're taking all this dormant physical wealth and turning it into a dynamic, liquid financial powerhouse. Just imagine how attractive that new dollar looks on the world stage compared to the old, debt-soaked paper version.
So why now? Why are we talking about this today on March 20th, 2026? Because this isn't some distant dream anymore. The pieces, they're already being put on the board. The infrastructure for this revolution is being quietly built, right under our noses.
I mean, just look around. You see the Magnificent Seven, the biggest tech companies in the world, building out server capacity on a scale we've never seen before. That's the engine. And then you see the Federal Reserve itself with its FedNow system, already testing the exact kind of high-speed transactions needed for this to work. The rails for this new system, they're being laid as we speak.
So, make no mistake about it, we are standing right on the precipice of the greatest financial upgrade in the history of the world. The shift away from an analog, debt-based system to a digital, asset-backed one isn't a question of if anymore, it's a question of when. The need is there, the technology is here.
But all of this, it brings us to the final $34 trillion question, the real endgame. Once this new, programmable, asset-backed dollar is fully operational, how do you use it to solve that mountain of a problem? How do you make $34 trillion in debt just vanish? That is the real trick. And that's exactly what we're going to break down in part 2. This is Steve. The future is programmable. I'll see you at the open.